Hello, and welcome back to Friends and Finances podcast. I'm Teresa Griffith, your host for today, and I am with First South Financial and have over 20 years of experience in personal finance. I'm joined today by Hayley St. She is Vice President of Business Development with First South Financial, and we're going to talk about CDs today. Welcome, Hayley.
Hey, thanks, Teresa. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and talk about CDs. Now, you may be wondering why CDs have anything to do with finances. We are not talking about the music CDs. We are talking about money CDs. So today we're going to be diving into certificates of deposit and how that can benefit you and your savings goals.
Yes. So let's kind of just dive right in. And first, tell me what a certificate of deposit is.
So a certificate of deposit is a type of savings account that typically offers you a higher rate of return. Now, with certificates of deposit, they are a great option for those of you who want to maximize your savings and avoid the risk of the stock market.
And so certificates are generally for specific periods of time, right? And
yes. So with a CD, you will have several different options as far as your term goes. So First South does offer CDs anywhere from 3 months to 5 years. So yeah, those are the term options that you have.
All right. And so when you say there are terms, that means that you're like locking up your funds for a period of time, right?
Yes. So when I say that you are leaving your funds on deposit or you're locking or you're setting a certain term, you are agreeing with that financial institution to put those funds on hold for that specific period of time, which means you cannot make any changes. You can't make any more deposits, withdrawals, anything like that for that specific term.
But you're rewarded with a higher interest rate.
Yes,
all right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So that gives people ways to let their money earn more money for them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now there are some other options. As far as CDs go, sometimes you may have like a Build It CD. First South offers Build It CDs, which means you can make unlimited deposits to the CD, but you still cannot make any withdrawals before maturity.
Right. So that allows you to add to the balance. You just can't take away.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's say I want to open a 12-month CD because I got an income tax refund. And then 5 months into that CD, I have a car issue and I need to withdraw money from that because I need to pay to get the car repaired. So what happens then? Do I lose all of the interest? Do I pay a penalty? What happens?
So it is a great option to consider a CD if you receive a large sum of money. However, it's important to establish an emergency fund separate from your CD because if in the event that you have an emergency and you need to make a withdrawal to fix your car, you would have to pay a penalty for that withdrawal. It would be considered an early withdrawal. So with that, you would want to separate your emergency savings. Go ahead and fund that emergency savings before you establish your CD.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So how can I take advantage of the better rates within the CDs and still have funds liquid or available?
So a CD ladder would probably be a good option for you. And what I mean by that is if you take the runs on a ladder and you, let's say you have $2,500 to spend, that you don't readily need. You can go ahead and open, let's say a 1 year, a 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and 5 year CD, and you can deposit $500 into each. Now, each year as those CDs mature, you will have the funds available, so you can make any changes at that time that you would like to. You can open a new CD. Maybe you're using that money to purchase something for your home, a large purchase, so that would allow you to put money away. But still each year you would have money become available to you for,
okay.
Or different ways of spending.
Or if I know I've got repairs coming up, I could do that on a monthly basis too. I could do a ladder for any kind of setup.
It kind of knocks out two birds with one stone. It locks those funds away. So if you're a big spender or you're more prone to spend those funds. It would give you the discipline to know that if you were to break that CD or do an early withdrawal, that you would have to pay the penalty.
And you don't get the good interest rate. Anymore.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense. If I am looking to make you mentioned a big purchase. If I'm looking to make a big purchase, say I know that it's 3 years in the future, I just wouldn't take out a CD that was beyond the 3 years so that everything would be available.
Right. You would need to be mindful. So if you were looking to purchase a home in, let's say, the next 3 years, you would just be mindful that around this time, 3 years from now, this money would become available. So I wouldn't be able to purchase a home and have those funds as a down payment before then.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yes, that takes planning, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right. So speaking of planning, if I've got all of these different CDs maturing at different times, how do I track all of that?
So you would, whenever you open the CD, you would be given a certificate for that CD. It would highlight your maturity date, the interest rate that you are at that time. But about a month from maturity, your financial institution generally sends out another maturity notice to let you know that that CD is going to be maturing. I think it's a good practice to go ahead and put a note on your calendar as well.
Oh, that's a good
idea.
Or
a reminder. So that way you know that CD is coming up for maturity. Now, if you don't make any changes at all to your CD, it will automatically renew. However, you would need to know the specifics of that renewal because it may not be at that same term or at that same rate. And so that maturity notice that you get in the mail would kind of prompt you to decide what you wanted to do with that CD upon maturity. So if you wanted to go ahead and cash it out to purchase something, or if you did want to open a new CD, you could kind of shop around and look at different CD rates. First South does offer a guaranteed best rate promotion. So if you were shopping around and you saw that another locally headquartered institution is offering a rate that you're interested in, you could see if we could get you a rate match for that specific rate.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I know that our viewers are curious about how their funds are protected when they are locked in a CD. So are the funds insured?
Yes, the funds are insured by the NCUA. It's up to $250,000 per share owner. So what that means is you would get your funds back in the unlikely event that your bank is insolvent.
Yeah. Okay. So all of this information is great, Hayley. Thank you very much. So what is your last piece of advice when it comes to CDs?
So I like to use a Build It CD as my change drawer. It's not often that you'll see me purchasing things with cash. So I don't have a little piggy bank in my room anymore. So, but what I like to do is each time I swipe my debit card, I will either go into my bank app at that time, or I'll go in later on that evening and I will transfer the change that's in my checking account to my CD.
So if you have $52.67, you're going to transfer that 67 cents over?
Yeah, 67 cents is going into my CD. And you'd be surprised how quickly the 67 cents and the 27 cents, that adds up. It really does.
Yes. I've been suggesting for years to people to don't spend change. You know, always set it aside because it does grow very fast.
Now, that wouldn't work with a traditional CD because they do have, we forgot to touch on this, but it does, they do typically have minimum balance requirements. However, if you get to a certain point with my Build It CD, so like upon maturity, if I wanted to, I could roll that into a traditional CD where I would be earning a higher interest yield.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Sounds like we're all experts now on certificates. So thank you, Hayley, for sharing this information.
Absolutely.
To all of our viewers, be sure to check out our website at firstsouth.com. And there you'll be able to see our current CD rates and any promotions that we might have going on where you could lock in a special term and a special rate. Please follow us and like us. And thanks for spending some time with us today.
All right, bye.